Brown of the County GIS Department. So I came to discuss the Pennsylvania Multi-Party Geospatial Data Sharing Agreement. It's like a mouthful. So basically what that is it's serving as a vehicle for counties to share data with the state. Some counties required a data sharing agreement. So the problem that the state was running into was there was many agreements. It was having to go through solicitors. It was having to go through the state's lawyers. And this was really bogging them down. So they came up with one agreement that all the counties can sign and share data with the state. So we've always shared data with the state, and we didn't have an agreement that we required them to sign. We just provided it, told them that it was for state use, and that has been serving us well up to this point. This is something that they're now asking all the counties to sign. In the future, you know, kind of in conjunction with this, there's a big push in the state now for open data. And some of our neighbors have signed on to open data. Dauphin County has, I think Berks County is looking into it. One of the other counties in our region, York County, is now open data, which means that you have a website basically that folks go to and they can just download data and use it for free. So that's where things are going. Just to kind of let you know, this is a step in that direction, I believe. So what the state's asking for is, you know, sign this agreement. Doesn't mean you have to share any data. You can share whatever data you want to share, but understand that any data that we do share will be part of the state base map and will be made available to the public and will be available for download. That includes text parcels. So with the text parcels, they're saying you could provide us a minimum of a PIN. So what I tend to find is that folks are interested in owner names and addresses and some of the other accessory data that comes along with the text parcels. So I guess this is twofold. Number one, we have to decide, do we want to sign the agreement, which I don't see much harm to because it's up to us what we share. The real discussion comes in is what do we want to share, you know, understanding that this is now going to be open to the public, which some of the data that we've already been submitting for Next Gen 911 and some of the other projects, that's all part of being open and shared anyway. So our roads, the address points that we're having developed right now, they will be shared. So a lot of things are moving in that direction. So that's really where we kind of have to think. Number one, do we sign the agreement, which I don't find too threatening, to what is it we're going to share?
Let me ask Jamie, if we would go with the open concept, would that put a dent in the right to know requests? Because a lot of the information then...
Probably just the ones that ask for tax parcels. When they want an overall county-wide tax parcel. So
not a big one.
Not a big one.
Okay.
Not a big one. I guess my question would be, what's, you know, right now anybody can go on the county's website and see tax parcel information, some tax, limited information, and then we have the CAMA sign-in, you know, that's a subscription.
Correct.
Would the data that's being shared with the state be limited to basically what's already on the county's website?
It could be less. It could be what we have now.
Okay, so we can decide to maybe just match what's on the county's website. At
a minimum, they would want the geometry and they would want the UPI. That's the minimum that they would want. And if they have that, they say then that's fine. And then that still would require folks to come back to us for the owner address, the assessed values, and so on. Or we could throw the whole enchilada at them if that's what we want to do.
Well, it would seem to make sense to me to provide what is equal to what is provided on the county's website. That way we don't, at this point, maybe in the future we have to have a further discussion, but at this point we don't impact the subscriptions that are being made, you know, with assessment office and that sort of thing. Is that accurate?
Probably not, because now with the folks that purchase the data now, they want the geometry, which from the website they don't get the geometry. So they can go and they can look at it and they can find out who the owner is and that type of thing. But if they're doing a plan, or if they let's say Teleatlas, they won't. Or there's websites out there that take your purchase our parcel data, and then they have that out there, you know, on the web for other folks to see.
Right.
Those type of folks probably wouldn't need to purchase that in the future. They would get that from the open data or from the state-based map. They would get it from that information. So that's really what we're talking about here is like what happens in the future. We'll probably cut down on some of the revenue that we see, which isn't a huge amount, to be honest. Some of the revenue
Yeah.
that we see from data
Does
sales.
the decision on what to provide go at the same time as the agreement, or the agreement
No,
first?
those
and then
can
we
be
cross
two
that bridge?
separate, those are
Okay.
two separate things. If we wanted to sign the agreement, again, I see no heartburn in signing the agreement, and as long as we understand whatever we share will be made publicly available. And I see no heartburn really with tax parcels and PIN, but that's a conversation we should probably have.
Okay, let's have that one with a little more data, that conversation.
Cherie, I go back a ways, and I was there lobbying to get GIS for the County of Lebanon, and walked down the hallway to the Water Authority, and was able to get things moving. Back then, the point I'm getting to is that the county and the Water Authority split the tab. We still do. And so we were very guarded with our information because we wanted to be able to get revenue back because it comes from our real estate tax dollars. Since that time, the state has started helping to pay for flyovers, and they didn't do that before.
Correct.
And of course, we're getting funding from the telephones and things of that nature. So it seems only right to share some of the data. But I do believe that if we just do the first part today and then the second part, I don't know if it's asking too much of you to make a listed suggestion, maybe working with Jamie on what we should release for the rest. Can we do it that way?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well, then I'll make a motion to move ahead with the presentation on sharing the contract only at this time.
Okay.
Good with that? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion or clarification needed? Good? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You got it.
All right.
First step.
We'll work towards figuring the rest of it out. Yep, all right.
Thanks,
Thank
Cherie.
you. Have a good